Let's go, baby. Let's go. LTA, baby. All right. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the streams. It's an absolute pleasure to host you here on the live streams here. Make sure you download this ebook. Let's get to work. Hope you guys are ready for another trading session. Yesterday, we traded gold. Today, we will see what happens with gold, by the way. Looking forward to it. Looking forward to today's session here. I'm not gonna, guys. I'm just not gonna hold you up too long. Let's get to freaking work, my man. Let's just do it. Okay. That sounds like it is. Green Reaper, my friend, good to see you. Tim, good to see you. Adelino, good to see you. Franklin, good to see you. Silver Fox, welcome back, my friend. Lucifer, welcome back. Becky, welcome back. MG Pern, Dominic. All the VIP guys are here. Shout out to our elite traders. Shout out to Andre, Dominic, Ryu, Vanessa, Ronak, Marius, Fruit Seeker, all the guys in the group have been absolutely crushing it with us here live on stream, but also upstream. Gonna be a big one, guys. Gonna be a big one. All right. Time to get to work. Looking forward to today's session. Once again here, we just got some news. Let's talk about this right here. Specifically the ADP. We waited for this news to happen first. That was the most important part here. You can see right now at the moment we're dealing with some negative outcome here. The ADP non-farm employment came out negative. We have a lot more news coming though. At 10 again, you know the drill. It's the NFP week. You know how that usually goes. Okay, we'll see how it goes here. The dollar right now is responding bearish. Gold is, for that reason, holding up very strong. Very strong. We're going to talk about that in a second here. But most importantly, all right, if you are new to this stream, if you haven't seen us before yet, my name is Lorenzo. I've been trading live for the past, you could say, 3 years. We have done over 400 live streams. We've taken over 500 live trades on the live streams during that time period here. And our only way is up. Literally, our only way is to improve. My only way is to inspire you to become a better trader, a better version of yourself, and just to have someone to rely on through thick and thin when times are, you know, not always that pleasant here. So if you are new, make sure you download this ebook. Number one, you show up 8 a.m. EST here. We kick off the stream together. We go over the markets. And then we get to work on a Tuesday, on a Wednesday, and on a Thursday. And if you want to be with us 24/7, I highly recommend to get, of course, into our Telegram. With that said, it's a very important day today. It's the first day of the quarter. All right, it's Q4, one of my favorite quarters of the year. This is where I've in the past made the most money. Q4 is usually a great quarter. Okay, it might start off a bit slow, but overall, during the end November, reaching the beginning of December, November, December, usually extremely nice price action here. So we're looking forward to it. We're leaving the summer behind, and we're getting now ready to rock and roll in the last quarter of this year here. Okay, let me know in the chat, how have you done so far? What is your year? You know, what did your year look like? Did you learn a lot? Did you improve a lot? Did you mess up a lot? Let me know in the chat, please. Looking forward to it. I want to know what you guys are up to, all right? Because we're here to improve. Yes, we're here to trade. Obviously, look at our yesterday's trade. So beautiful. However, we're here to learn as well. We're here to improve and to get better on a day-to-day basis here. So anyways, let's talk about the markets. Let's get to work. Gold right now at the moment here, we talked about it already. Yesterday, like I said before, we were looking at something like this, right? We were looking at buys above the 38.27. We wanted to see the retest and we wanted to see the continuation. Why does this make so much sense? Well, the most important layer was for us the fact that we obviously came and tapped into the daily support level on the higher time frame. Daily support was hit. Price reacted from that very strong. We had this range, which was kind of our resistance. So you could see how hard and how much effort it took gold to break out of it. But once we broke out, the only way was up for us right there. And the only way was looking for the continuation place and looking for the pullback to enter. Okay, so this showed you, hopefully, that patience is absolutely worth it, right? Having patience, knowing exactly when to enter a trade, knowing your setups perfectly, textbook, following your plan is truly what matters, okay? Emotions are part of the game, yes, but it's your responsibility to deal with them, and it's your responsibility to stay disciplined enough to wait for the right moment to execute, so you can really anticipate the market as a real sniper. So anyways, yesterday's trade was a pullback. It took some time. Volume was really low here, so price initially took a long time before we finally saw some movement here. But we did indeed pull back. Right here, we pull back into the fixed value high. And I'm keep telling you guys, volume is king. Volume is king. All right. Follow the area where the most volume was traded. Luckily today or yesterday, it was also the daily open. So that was like your double confirmation. That doesn't happen all the time though. Okay. But in this case, you can see the fixed value area high, tapped into that, and we pretty much keep pushing upwards, taking out these highs right there. Obviously, I had to close my trade around a 2-to-1 a little bit earlier. Actually, I didn't even reach my 2-to-1 fully, to be honest. 185 because I had to close my trade by the end of day. Okay, that was my trade personally. I know some of you guys kept the trade running. And I know that some of you guys are even still in position. Right? This is all personal preference, of course. Many of you guys, don't care about holding trades overnight. And on futures, especially on like things like Top Step, right? You need to close your positions overnight. So, that comes, of course, with a compromise. But anyways, setup after setup, disciplined enough to just look for that consistency here. And that's usually the way it is here. Okay. Let me quickly look in the chat and then we go over gold. Looking forward to it. See what we can do today. Mubarak says, I'm new in YouTube. Followed you on Insta. Nice. Yes. Make sure you follow your boy on Instagram. Okay. We have been growing our Instagram recently. I didn't do anything with Instagram. Anything at all. I'm like that old school. I'm not that old, but I'm that old school. Okay. But we're back on Instagram as well here. So you can always follow your boy. Yeah, for sure. Awesome stuff. And I appreciate that. Yassine says gold. Franklin says best year I ever had. Thanks to you and LTA. Amazing. Rich One Day says I learned a lot of patience this summer. That's it. That's where the summer months are for. Truly. That's where the summer months are for. The summer months are built to learn you some discipline. Okay? And if you can crush it in the summer times, you're gonna destroy the winter. Okay? That's the reality. Webb says learned a lot, but damn, FOMO and greed gets me every time. And that's something that we're gonna talk about on stream a lot. You will see our patience sometimes. We never chase a single trade, right? We never chase. If the move has been gone, we gone back tomorrow, we do the same thing again, and we see when we get executed. That's just the reality. That's the only way we can follow a clear system. Okay? Tommy says, my account got back to $33 from $2,300. No problem, I'm coming back now. It's 140. I'm in this again and again. Cool. Risk management, my friend. Risk freaking management. Okay. If you guys look at gold right now, right, we're pulling back. The dollar is, holding up here. The thing about the dollar right now is the dollar itself is in a daily demand zone. Okay. You can see that right here. The dollar tapped into daily demand. So even though news came out bearish for the dollar, look at how price responds from the daily demand here. Now, that doesn't necessarily mean that gold is bearish or anything in that manner, but it's just something to pay attention to. But at the same time, the dollar is weaker still because we're unable to break structure to the upside, right? And as long as we cannot break to the upside and break structure, yeah, the dollar can still hover around here and react from demand, but overall stays weak. We've seen this over and over again when the dollar taps into a demand zone, but price, doesn't break out. So the dollar stays relatively weak. But a breakout is very important for us to pay attention to, because that will make a difference on gold. That could make a difference on gold, but also, of course, on all kinds of currencies, etc. Anyways, gold right now is pulling back. You can see that right here. A lot of volume coming into the market right now, of course. The first thing that I'm seeing right now, guys, I'm not sure if you guys are seeing it right away, but the first thing that I'm seeing here right now at this current moment is a new range that has been formed. Okay. Right around there. All right. London broke out to the upside here. We have this range right now. Also, we're dealing with a previous all-time high. That was yesterday, of course. We snapped that. We broke that today. Right. So the previous daily highs were taken out. So yeah, I think a lot of guys are going to try to short gold here. I do believe that. So we're going to pay attention to, to how that actually works, etc. here. And what happens when price pulls back into this range. We're going to keep it very simple. I think that we need to pay attention to this range. And yesterday we aggressively entered the position, right? Because the structure was extremely bullish, right? The moment you bounce from a higher time frame support and you break above a critical area of resistance, which was this range before, and you pull back, that is very bullish, right? The structure is very bullish. The fact that we were going there potentially, it was such a big chance that we were potentially pushing towards that high. In this case right now, we're coming from a high, okay? But it's important to not rush into longs in a pullback right now, and rather just see how price responds around a key level here initially, and really let price develop. All right, this was much more aggressive yesterday. Yesterday we pretty much came down, we tapped into it for a minute, we closed the candle, we entered immediately. This time I want to see at least some sort of confirmation that makes sense here. Why? We are in an uptrend, we are pulling back to the range, and we are retesting the previous all-time highs. So this is by default the most important level to pay attention to. And if you draw the fixed range volume profile on the left side of your screen, and we draw that over the range, then you're gonna get two levels again. Okay, yes, the daily highs or the previous daily highs is one layer, but we have the fixed value area high right around here. And I will go to the spot chart as well in a second, so you know what the levels there are as well. But I'm gonna mark out the POC, and I'm gonna mark out the value high, very similar to yesterday. We have a consolidation, we have an expansion, we are now having a retracement. Our goal is to simply see what happens when price responds to this level, and then we're gonna wait for at least a confirmation to see, you know, is this looking strong or is this looking weak? If this is looking weak and the response is not what I want, I might not enter a long setup, right? But if the response is there, I will give it a go. I just try to increase my probability as much as I can. And the only way to do that is knowing when to take aggressive entries and when to kind of wait for the confirmation to come and to follow up first before we move actually forward here. Today is one of those days to wait for a confirmation because of the fact that we're dealing with a lot of news. At 10, we have a range, and we have a lot of things coming. We're coming from an all-time high here. A lot of people are trying to short gold, you know, trying to short gold into, let's say, the London lows, right? All that stuff. But that's going to be interesting. So we're going to pay a lot of attention to the 38.97 on gold futures, which is not that far away from here. And on spot, let me actually see what that level is on spot, so you're also ready to rock and roll. There we go. That is going to be the 38.68.43. And the 38.63.472. Okay, so these are the levels I'm going to pay attention to right now on spot. 38.68, 38.63. Then we have obviously a silver chart. Somebody asked about silver. We can quickly check it out. Doesn't look as clean as gold in my opinion right now. Okay, just because of this high right here. Gold has broken structure. We're retesting it, whereas silver has been underperforming, has not even broken out of yesterday's highs yet. So I prefer to trade gold if you can get the opportunity right there. That's the plan. At least let's see what happens when price taps into it. Yeah, patience is required today. That's for sure. Patience is required today. You know, we got our trade from yesterday. That's a 2-to-1 risk reward ratio. Nice in the pocket, roughly speaking, 2-to-1. Who took yesterday's trade? Let me know in the chat if you took yesterday's trade. And if you had the balls, and this is another layer, if you had the balls to hold on to it. Yeah, if you had the balls to hold on to it. Okay? Because sometimes you need that patience, man. Man, gold is such a tricker. It's such a tricker. Right around here, the amount of sellers that stepped in here, crazy. When price broke out, we knew these sellers are trapped. Trapped sellers is bullish. If we pull back, what are sellers gonna do? They're gonna offload their position, usually, when they see prices not pushing down further. So, you know, that's what happened probably. Price broke out to the upside here. Now we're seeing a lot of aggressive selling here taking place again. But price is holding up really well. It's not like it, you know, gold is collapsing or something. Right? It's holding up really well. It's just creeping down right now at the moment here. So we'll see. iTech says I did, but I didn't have the balls. Fahad says I didn't held it. I took it, but did not have the balls until created new highs. Wen says the best feeling waking up, TP hit. Nice. Very nice. Very nice. In the meantime, guys, we have 635 people watching right now at the moment here. We have 136 likes. If you can get the likes up here, that would be really nice. Your boy is trying to grow in the algo. Okay, that rhymes. We also realize that 30% of you guys are actually not even subscribed to this channel. So make sure you subscribe to this channel. And yeah, we might have a giveaway or something tomorrow. Maybe. So far, gold is currently sitting at 38.76. We'll see how that goes here. Another thing that I was looking at from Forex was the yen. The yen is looking really strong right now. The yen is looking really strong, and that might has to do with an interest rate hike, which is going to come potentially at the end of this month. So if you are a Forex trader, I highly recommend you to pay a lot of attention to the yen right now. The yen is looking really strong. Look at GJ, look at the euro against the yen, look at the dollar against the yen. Why they're all breaking down right now at the moment here. I do expect some sort of follow through. So this is for my Forex traders. Pay attention. And if you have any questions, then just let me know. We'll talk about this. We'll talk about this. We'll talk about it. Shiv says, how to use your indicator. Is there any chance I can learn? My man, we have created an ebook for you. You can download this one for free. All the information is in there in regards to the book. It will probably take you an hour maybe to go through it. You know, maybe longer. It's 300 pages. So you're not going to read 300 pages in an hour. But when it comes down to the volume analysis part, which is chapter 1, right here, I suggest to read this at the beginning for sure and start to understand how we utilize the profile, what the settings are, right? You need to understand the right settings as well to set it up right here. What the very high is, the very low is, what high volume nodes are, low volume nodes are. And then from there onwards, we go towards certain criteria, right? How we actually draw our levels and why and when we draw our levels, and then how we execute upon these levels, right? Just as important, like how do we actually execute with that? Once you understand this, you can get the hang of it, then all the other stuff will come, which is super important. Yeah, the macro analysis, the sentiment, the seasonality, the supply and demand on the higher time frame, all these things matter. But start and kick it off with the volume profile, right? Dream Destination says, what's your plan for gold? I highly recommend you to go back into the stream. Kick it off at like 8, 8:10. Boom, you're there. Let's get started. We'll talk at gold right away. Ryu says, my silver trade hit full TP. We took this in the trading floor today. Yeah, big one, Ryu. Amazing. I've seen it. Shout out to you, my man. Incredible stuff. The guys in the trading floor have been absolutely crushing it. They've been taking trades here. If you are, if you like things like gold, silver, but you're also potentially interested in trading multiple different assets, you know, some people like to focus in our group on one specific instrument. We have Liam. He's really killing it, for example, with oil and natural gas. And then you have other guys that are trading specifically gold. And, you know, then we have some currency guys as well. So a lot of variety. Depends what you prefer. I personally like to trade everything because our system just works on everything. So why not trading everything when gold is boring, when there is nothing to see on the gold chart? I'm not going to force anything on gold. You know, that's usually the problem, right? If you are a, let's say, one-dimensional trader, or you trade one asset, which is great, like to learn, etc. I get it. But if there is nothing, right, don't try to force anything. Like, don't try to force a setup, because you usually know what will happen, right? When you are, you know that there is no trade. You still wanted to trade. You couldn't accept that there was not going to be a trade today. You took something random, didn't make any sense, didn't align with your strategy, didn't align with your, your previous trade setups. Guess what happens? You lose. That's not going to be nice. You win. That's also not going to be nice because you didn't follow your process. Like, it's irrelevant if you win or lose. It's about you following the process, right, guys? That's it. That's it. Top 5 trending says, hey, do you utilize the anchored VWAP after drawing the fixed range for profile? Because I know it's an aggressive market and there is no imbalance to price. Retrace to the VWAP and enter using your entry models. Yeah, usually if an aggressive breakout takes place, we have something in the ebook that we call the swing profiles, okay? We haven't really covered this yet. We will, however. We will do this, okay? The swing profile. This is usually what will happen once you see an aggressive expansion here. Look at that. An aggressive expansion to the upside and price pulls back into a swing very high. We haven't really talked about it yet because we didn't need to. But once we see something in the chart that represents this, then we will show you. But it's all about the internal lower time frame, internal, internal swings, etc., etc., etc. Goldie pushing down, breaking below the 3,900 after taking out yesterday's highs, which is very interesting here. Yeah, a lot of people are going to try to short this. I think really a lot of people are short biased here, to be honest. Why? Standard procedure, right? Previous daily highs taken out, London lows right there, So that's why I want to wait for an extra confirmation here and see what happens. So yeah, if you utilize the volume profile, you understand what we do here on stream. I highly recommend you to draw this volume profile now on that range and mark out the VIX fixed very high. The way I do that is I draw a horizontal ray. I click on it. I type in, let's say, fixed very high. I give it a color blue, whatever you want to do. Template, save as, fixed very high. And the only thing that you have to do from that moment onwards is simply draw a horizontal ray, template, click on it. You do this one time, you set it all up, and you're done. Okay? One time. And everything is set up for you. Can I be profitable by reading your book and apply it in trading? You could, but I can give you any other strategy, okay? It all comes down, any other profitable strategy, but it all comes down to you. It all comes down to your efforts, to your consistency, because trading is much more than understanding a strategy here. Okay, so the most interesting and the most valuable parts actually, because we always talk about the strategy, right? We always talk about the volume analysis. Volume is king, which it is. The execution, the higher time frame, the fundamental data, etc. But you know, we have something that's called risk and money management. Okay, risk and money management, discipline over emotion, precision, trade control. All these layers are gonna come, and this is truly what's gonna make the difference once you have nailed down your strategy. Right? Most people blame their psychology. Most people blame, you know, their trading and say, "Oh, it is my psychology," but they don't even have a proper system yet. You can blame your psychology if you don't have a proper system. If you don't have a process that you follow day after day after day after day. Okay? I know it's boring. I know it's boring. You know, I felt this way too when I started out here. But you start enjoying it over time. At some point, you reach that climax. You start enjoying that same process follow through. It becomes a habit. You know, everything that you have to repeat and repeat and repeat eventually turns into a habit, and then it comes down to your psychology. Right? That's when I was nailed. The reason why I could work on my psychology was because I just knew my strategy was by default profitable. The strategy itself was proven to be. The data showed me that it was profitable. So I know, okay, that's done. So that's no longer the issue. Now it's about me. Now it's about me trying to improve and make the drastic changes to really become successful. So strategy first, yes. Not a psychology issue at the beginning. It's a skill issue at the beginning. Once this is nailed down, your mindset, your psychology is super important. And what do I mean with psychology in trading? I mean things like FOMO, things like not being able to close your position, things like closing your position too early, where you know that you could just let it run because the data should tell you something over time. Yesterday was a good example, right? We entered our position on stream. Everyone was excited, right? Everyone's excited. Price came down, right? Price came down. You guys remember? Price went into drawdown. The candle looked like shit. The candle looked terrible. You should have seen the chat. You should have seen the chat. You guys can turn on a dime. Like, boom. 1 minute you're happy, the next minute you're laying in bed crying. Okay? The minute after, you're happy again. We need to get rid of that. We need to get rid of that. Do you only trade the strategy you trade online? 100,000%. 100,000%. It's the only thing we're doing. Not just me, by the way, okay? Me and hundreds of other people in the group trading the exact same way, okay? We're all trading the same method. There is no difference in the way we trade, okay? And that for me was one of the most and the hardest things to accomplish. And the thing where I'm the most proud of in our group is that we were able to get everyone on the same page and just literally create that family environment where people just come together because they want to be there, they want to execute, they want to learn, they take trades together, and it becomes just one big family enjoying the same process. So, it's not going to be like, oh, he said this, or ICT says this, or this guy says that. That's not going to work in any community. You need something to rely on. And, you first have to show them that it works. Then they have to see that it works. Then they have to trade it for a while. And they have to, test it themselves and prove to themselves that it works. Like they went through all these layers. A lot of trap buyers here for sure. A lot of guys were going long on gold because why? It was negative data, right? Negative dollar data. So people that trade news got wrecked. Why? Because the ADP non-farm employment came out bearish. You saw that initial pump. Buyers step in here, immediately price reversed, boom. Stuck in their position. Now price is coming down. This is why it's so important to wait for confirmation right now, because if you know that there are a lot of trap buyers there, you know, this might be a very reasonable target, right? Below the lows right there, right? The London lows. So that's why I'm saying, like, yeah, be extremely cautious here. We are going to be very cautious here because we're dealing with news. We're dealing with a lot of things still. So the confirmation for us is absolutely crucial today. Absolutely crucial today. Why watch the PUC in the 50-minute? Is it any different to look on the 1 hour? No, it's the same level right now. Same level. Same level. The value high might be slightly lower here. We can put it at like 38.68, I guess. That is fine. It doesn't really matter. It's not a big difference. We'll wait for price to respond. And keep in mind, we're also dealing with the previous all-time highs here. So we're dealing with a couple levels here, right? The value high, previous all-time highs. So any type of formation here, any type of entry model formation here might be interesting. Let's see. But this is a really good example. Yesterday's trade was, let's say, a 2-to-1 risk-reward ratio. Let's round it up. A 2-to-1 risk-reward ratio. So that means if I would risk, right, 1% right now to make 2%, I make 2%, right? That means that today and tomorrow, I can practically lose both trades and break even. So you only need to win, you know, if you trade, let's say, you know, let's say on the streams, for example, right? We stream 3 days a week on YouTube. We only need to pretty much win 1 trade a week to break even. And anything above that is profit. Liam says, you worked well, Lorenzo, and get dedication to ensure we align with our very minor edges. Amazing, bro. No, you're not minor edges. You guys have been killing it. Liam, bro, you have been killing it, my friend. Just look in our Telegram. Had a great London LTA session today. Amazing. Micro silver. This was today during London session. Super clean. Do you guys see the setup right here? Do you guys see the consolidation and manipulation? The expansion? The retracement, the continuation? So the consolidation, manipulation, expansion, retest into the point of control, and then the continuation. This is textbook. Absolutely textbook. Absolutely textbook. Textbook setup right there. Beautiful. Yeah, this is also a beautiful story, by the way. This is Mike. Okay, and Mike has been trading with us for, I think, a year. And this guy made a ridiculous amount of profit. And then he used that to start his prop firm. And he's now a prop firm owner. So that's a very, very big accomplishment, by the way. Very big accomplishment. Coming into our group, trading LTA. Never traded any other strategy before. Became profitable, turned that into a prop firm. That's some G shit right there, yeah. Bro, the yesterday setup, I said, well, I closed too early, but man, it was dope. I mean, to be really honest, it was really hard to not close early. Because of that slow movement, right? I can guarantee you, you probably closed the trade right around here. No, maybe here, to be honest. Or not. You see that pullback, you think, oh shit, price is pulling back. But our entry was there, right? So we had a lot of really good levels that, and we had a lot of protection there. You know, we had a lot of protection there. We really did. And truly, what was the worst that could happen, right? A break-even setup. Okay, first level. Like I said, confirmations, no rushing today. Nothing to do there. Just curious how price responds here. We have trap buyers sitting there. We have the London lows sitting there. We have news coming. So no need to force anything here. Look at that break. Wow. Let's see on futures real quick what's happening here. Same thing. Okay, that's good. Gold spot and gold futures are pretty aligned. That's good. Told you. Boom. If this breaks down, right, and it pulls back into the value area low, by the way, guys, this is also a short setup here. But hey, I would not look for shorts yet, for sure. Let's wait first and see what happens. You see the value area high right now is responding, or at least reacting to it, which is always, which is gonna happen, to be honest, 90% of the time. We're gonna at least react. We barely have periods where we don't respond from any of these levels because it's such an important level. The question is, will we hold this level or not right now? That's what we're trying to figure out here. But we are reacting. First candle is reacting. This might be just an EM1, you know. This might just be an EM1. Let's see. All right, we're reacting from the value high. First of all, we at least closed above it. Yeah, so what is the thought process of an entry model? This is something that we have been really testing a lot. We've run thousands of simulations around this exact model. It's actually not that hard. Funny enough, it's not that hard to look at. It's a 3 candle bar play. It looks like this, right? So imagine that this is reversed right now, right? Imagine that this is a flip, a clear range, breakout, retest, a 3 candle bar play, and then the break of that second candle is the entry here. We just need to wait for the right convo. Right, it depends on a couple factors right now. Because yes, an EM1 can occur. But we have news. We have more news coming in about what? 40 minutes. Okay, 50. It's still not that it's still far away. But yeah, confirmations there are gonna result in something like that. Can I just flip it? Or no, I can't, right? Yes. Oh no, it doesn't work. You get the point. I need to figure out which level it actually is. Let me 38.97. $38.97 and 38.88 on futures. 38.88.6. All right. At what time do you mostly look for the 3 candle bar play? It doesn't really matter. I'm really not really that obsessed with trading specific sessions. Like 9:30, I look at the chart. Usually I see what happens. I just want to see some volume. That's it. If I see that we have some volume is coming in, things are looking good. Then it's just about the right confirmations. You just need to know the nuances, right? When is it smart to enter aggressively? Yesterday we were very aggressive. Yesterday there was no entry model, right? It was an entry model, by the way. This was an entry model 1 right here. So it would have worked. Okay, this entry model would have worked perfectly. You see that? This would have been the entry, right? You have this candle, this test, the break of this candle high is the entry. Stop loss could go there. We would have roughly speaking the same risk reward ratio. So we could have waited, to be honest. Looking at this chart right now, well, we decided to enter, or I decided to enter aggressively. Today, today is a different story. Don't want to spam, but do you think the US government shutdown threat will cause bullish reaction? You know what the thing is? I don't really like to think about that news in the short term too much. Yes, I care about, let's say, interest rates. Interest rates are super important in the long run. We know the impact it has on the market. We know how important labor data is, strong and weak labor data, right? But in the short term price action, unless it's like total chaos war zone, I don't like to pay too much attention to it. I think it's a true distraction, to be honest. Because, you know, people assume stuff too much. I don't like when people are assuming. That's just the first principle. I don't like people assuming things. Like, oh, shutdown, go bullish. Like, what the fuck? How do you know that? Something like that will not really change my bias too much. But, you know, from my perspective now, we're still looking at long setups, right? That's the conclusion. We're still looking at longs. We're still looking at longs for now. For now. First reaction to the very high. Can you please clarify the current strategy you are using for this trade or previous one? We trade LTA concepts. Maybe look at watch yesterday's stream, or just join us along the way, and we'll go over it. Okay? We'll go over it. Man, look at that reaction. Again. Pretty eight. Look at that. Look at the fixed for higher holding here. It is also, it's actually not the previous daily high, yesterday's highs, yes. Not yesterday's highs, look at that. Well, kind of, it actually kind of is as well, in this case. Well, we are reacting here. At least we're starting to react here, so. Interesting. Yeah, I quickly need to go to the futures chart, guys. So you get the point. It's the same on spot pretty much. It is the same on spot. You can see that right here. You can actually see it even better on futures, how accurate the value high is here. Look at that level. The blue line, man. Yesterday, the blue line saved us. Today, will it happen again? That's the question. Marcus says, I have 5 pairs on my quote. I love their movement, but I want to focus on 2. What's your advice? Focus on 2 first. Get familiar with them, learn about them, and then move further if you can, if you feel confident enough. Brother, can you automate your trading strategy? The problem with this strategy is, in terms of like automation, you know, there are a lot of variables that you need to take in consideration. So it's you know, you need to be an absolute legend, a sick programmer to do so. Okay. Some AI and stuff, it's gonna make it. Doesn't necessarily mean you're gonna build this strategy perfectly here, because you know, you need to, first of all, it needs to be volume based. There's so many variables that I think it's very hard to do so. Like if you have like an ORB strategy, you break out of a 5-minute candle. It's very easy to code that. Very easy to program that, right? Failure is high is holding here. Entry model 1 is kind of forming. It is forming. It is forming. But yeah, you can see clearly it's still struggling, right? So it's important to be patient. Kilo Trade said, bro, did I meet you in Bamboo with a Binance shirt? No. That wasn't me. That wasn't me. Another beautiful example here of the government shutdown is something that was shared with us also in our group. These guys right here were talking about it. And they've backtested it exactly every single time when it happened. What happened to the dollar? And it pretty much remained unaffected. So you can kind of confirm that with real data. Shout out to Ronak for sharing this. You can actually see that there is no, it literally has no impact on the gold price overall. From like the historical data as well here. So shout out to you, Ronak. Appreciate that. Look at that breakdown, guys. Look at that breakdown. This is why patience was so important today. So important. That's why we didn't enter. That's already, in my opinion, a W by itself. Knowing when to go in aggressively and knowing when to just simply stay out and wait for confirmation. You guys agree? You will see over time how important that is. This is one of the things that I struggled with when I was starting out. I just couldn't, for some reason, I had to literally just press that freaking button regardless. Let's see what happens. Let's see what happens. Let's see what happens. You know exactly what I'm talking about. You know exactly what I'm talking about. POC is next though. We're not a POC here. Just as important as the value or high. When you react from the POC and you create, let's say, some sort of entry model, a closure above the fixed value high is important. You want to see a rebreak and a closure above the fixed value high, aligning with your entry model. So now we need to give it a bit more time here. So yeah, we might indeed, like, let's say it's 15 minutes. The news is then 15 minutes later. We might have to be a little bit patient for this one, you know? But yeah, it is just, you can see clearly how the value high would have been an issue. Look at the reaction. Wow. You see, and this is what a previous daily high doesn't show you, right? We can draw a level here, right? Right at the body. A lot of people would trade from that level just because of support and resistance, right? They would look at a support and resistance level right here. And this is why support and resistance, I could better say, this is why volume beats support and resistance every single time. And you can see that by simply marking out this clear high, right? This is gold breaking the all-time highs here. Many people that are involved in trading, they utilize these highs. They start waiting for a response because they see clearly that this is an area of resistance as first. Look at this one right there. Look at this one right there. I'll actually mark it out cleaner for you. Look at this high and look at how you respond there and how you respond there. What most people do is they wait for a breakout and a retest of that high. So they think we just draw that line from the previous daily highs, and then we go from there. But now you can see that we closed below it. Okay, we did close below it. So even though, yes, you can utilize, let's say, support and resistance, you can understand it. You can better use it in conjunction with volume. So what you can do here is you can go to the left side of your, you can click on the fixed range value profile. the fixed range volume profile, you then draw it, you mark out the value area high, the point of control, the area where the most volume has been traded, and the value area low, right there. These three levels are much more accurate overall. I highly recommend you to backtest this, see it for yourself, because it does work better. Look at how price stepped into the point of control right here. Picture perfect, and is now reacting from it. Okay, so imagine now bouncing from the point of control and then breaking and reclosing above that daily high, like that support or that resistance level. In this case, resistance, turning back into support again. And now you have a much better confirmation than just trying to enter right from that level. And this is why volume is king. We are reacting really nicely from the POC. I really do like this actually. If we now get some buy volume, then it gets very interesting. Closure above, buy volume. Let's take the 15-minute. 30-minute is even holding up still. Because it didn't close the 30-minute yet. We'll close that soon. Yeah, so if we break out of the value high here, guys, I think that's and a close above that daily high, the previous daily high again, I think that's a good sign for long continuations. I think that is a pretty good confirmation. So a re-break above previous daily highs now, after tapping into, you could say, the point of control. Because for now, definitely not there yet, right? What I do like is that I can just see that a lot of people are trying to short this right now at the moment. Why? Why are they trying to short this? Let me know in the chat, please. What do you think? What do you think the reason is why people are trying to short this level right now? Because a lot of shorters are trying to enter here. Why do you think that is the case? Yeah, we're below the previous daily highs, and we also have the London lows, right? We also have the London lows. So a lot of people are trying to aim for the London lows right here. I guess that's the London lows, right? Yeah, pretty much. Pretty much the London lows right now is where they're looking for. However, someone is holding here. Price is holding here. So if we re-break above the highs, I'm willing to go long and not to go short. But yeah, we said today, confirmation day. Yesterday, aggressive entry. Pretty much immediately, we waited for this closure. Price came down, closed the candle. And yeah, continued to go up from there. Never looked back, even though we were kind of stuck in our position forever. But yeah, that was just market volume, you know. 31.71, 38.71. What if price breaks below all these levels? Well, if price comes down and it breaks down, let's say, and we do take out the lows and we pull back, then I'm going to look at the value area low, which is sitting at 38.58. I'm going to see how price responds when we tap into it. And then I will target our level from yesterday, right? The 38.33 again. So that is the scenario right there. And that is a clear CME play, right? If that would be the case, then that will be a CME trade. The guys in the group know exactly what I'm talking about. That will be a very clear CME setup. Yesterday, you didn't wait for the confirmation, but why today you wait for the confirmation? I explained this 5 or 6 times already today. Knowing when to be aggressive and knowing when to not be aggressive and wait for confirmation. We have entry models for a reason. Is where the magic happens over time, for sure. If we would have been aggressive today, we would have now been in drawdown, for sure. We would have been stuck in our position now. So at least, you know, let's create the highest probability, you know, possible for us at least to make it happen. I want to trade the highest probability. Like, that's just the reality. I don't want to kind of lose my edge from that standpoint. Losing is part of the game. Even when even the best probability setups, we obviously lose. That's normal. But at least let's get all the things right before that. Guess what's gonna happen, right? You guys, many of you guys, I know many of you guys yesterday closed this trade around here, you know, or here or there in a pullback. I know that because the market was so freaking slow. And then the next time you're gonna hold the trade and it's gonna pull back to break even. I'm warning you. But hey, trust the process. Trust the process. Really do. Really do. That's how it always goes. It is crazy how much selling is taking place here and how price is refusing to break down. But buyers are not really stepping in, you know? That's the interesting part. So this pretty much results in like a 1 minute range if you look at it from that perspective. Point of control. Point of control. 38.63. 38.63. Nice. Give me some buyers. Do you think buyers are not stepping in because of news? Could be. Well, clearly we're pushing up here a little bit right now. We have news in like 50 minutes, which is super annoying. That's super annoying. Candle also opened without a bottom wick. So very tricky too. Timo says, and US PMIs in 30 minutes. Yeah, a lot of news still coming here. 50 minutes and 13 minutes. Yeah, that's very close. That's very close now. These are the moments where it's so freaking tempted to enter position here. But yeah, damn. The inventor of the phonograph, has never before permitted his voice to be recorded for the public. On futures, we still close below the highs. How do you directly put a horizontal ray? Alt J, I guess. Alt J. To be honest, this looks so freaking bullish. No closure above, and also news in like 10 minutes. Wow, look at that candle. Getting rejected right there. Wen says, yeah, silver is bouncing from the PSC. Is that true? Is that true? Let's check it out. Because that's important to know for gold sometimes too. Such a beautiful sea meat, by the way, on silver indeed as well. Look at that. Fixed for a high. Right there. You see that? Range, manipulation, expansion, retracement. Rebreak above the very high. Bouncing from the point of control. Man, it's so crazy. It's so crazy. What's the news about? Yeah, we're dealing with news right now in 11 minutes. So let's imagine you entering a position right now and news comes out and price just smacks through everything. Timing. Raina says, I took a silver buy this morning from the previous daily very high. Plus fixed PSC. That was a beautiful setup. Many people took the same trade. Many guys took the same setup indeed. Silver right there. I think this is the exact level you took the trade from, right? This is the trade you took, pretty much. Has to be. So let's say news comes out, price comes down, sets in a bottom wick, reflips bullish. Do you think price could go to the 4-hour fair value gap 80.30 and then skyrocket? 4-hour fair value gap 8.30. Which fair value gap? 8.30. Right here? You know what the thing is, bro? We have our levels. Confirmations come. I'm not just thinking, oh, price has to go. Price first is gonna go and do this. And then after it reaches this fair value gap, we're gonna go up, and then we're gonna do this, and we're gonna go up, and we get a confirmation set up right there. Right? The way we deal with the market is different. We look at aggressive buyers versus aggressive sellers. We're looking at behavior, what happens at a certain price level, and what kind of confirmations can we get, or when the macro structure is very clear, how do we anticipate it, right? So instead of like trying to say this is gonna happen first and then we're gonna see that, I much rather say that, you know, if we do create a confirmation around this level, then we're gonna act this way. Or if price breaks below this, then I'm gonna look for shorts below that. But I'm not gonna say we are gonna go up here, we are gonna go down there. Because I don't wanna connect myself emotionally to that outcome. Okay, so we, it's crazy. We actually did close above it. This next candle opened up. You see how hard it has? What a kind of hard time it has to actually follow through here. Between which hours should we add the fixed range volume profile? We should add the fixed range volume profile within previous daily, previous weekly, current weekly, fixed, and swing. Right? These are your, and your early previous day. These are your 5 different type of volume profiles here. The best thing I can recommend you, Joe, is to just simply download the ebook right here. Download this beautiful book right here. Boom. The trading warm-up, baby. Soon on every Amazon, on every international Amazon store as well. But you can download it for free, okay? You don't have to pay for it. So just download it in the description. You have all the information in there, all the things that we do on stream. The reason why I'm on stream in the first place is just because of this, right? Showcasing a strategy live. That's the reason. And what's a better way of showcasing a strategy than showcasing it live? Right? That's the way to do it, right? We are on a mission to change the trading industry. We are on a mission to showcase something that many traders don't utilize, and that is the volume profile. And especially not live on stream, taking trades live on stream, you know, all that stuff. So I think we're up to something here. We're up to something. We've done this for 3 years already. Jorn says silver goes crazy. Yeah, it does. It is. It is. Silver is actually booming right now. Gold is struggling. Okay, news in 4 minutes. This would have been actually really, this would have been an entry, to be honest. It pretty much has the criteria for an entry. Can't trade news, man. I can't trade news. I can't trade into news. I just cannot do that. What news? We have different layers. We have the S&P Global Manufacturing PMI. Then we have the ISM Manufacturing PMI. So in 2 minutes and in 17 minutes, we have news. Yes, we have. What is happening in Morocco? I have no idea. You tell me. Something happening there? Yeah, if you have downloaded the book already, Bullet Trade X, my friend. If you have downloaded the book already, then your next step is to start testing it, right? Start trading with it, get familiar, start executing some setups. See if the volume profile works, if it's something that you like to trade with, if this is kind of your, you know, if this is something that you can get used to. It's actually very simple. It gets really simple at some point because it becomes so automatic. And if you like it, you should hop into the Telegram right away, right? You should hop into the Telegram right away. We want people in our Telegram that have at least tried it out and say, okay, hey, there is potential here. I like it. It's new to me, but there is potential. Then you should definitely hop into the Telegram, right? For sure. Trading live like this, money where your mouth is, no uncertain terms. In no uncertain terms, bro. I've won, I've lost. I've had massive winning streaks on this YouTube channel. Massive winning streaks. And then I had a losing streak. You know how annoying a losing streak is on stream? That's why no one does it, right? That's why a lot of people don't try it because, like, yeah, it's fun when you're winning. You're the best trader in the world when you're winning. But when you're losing, because most traders don't understand the context, right? Of what losing means. Losing means nothing. But yeah. Still never fun to lose. Obviously. It's never fun to lose here. How to get the book? Just click on the link, first link in the description. Download it right there, you have it. LTAconcepts.ai. First thing that you see. Why don't you mark the lower line for the volume tool? That's a good question. That's actually a good question. Because we're now looking more or less at a reaction here, right? So we have that range, we have an expansion, we have the retracement. That is the C, that is the E, this is the R. And now we're dealing with a potential C, as long as we're staying above the point of control. Like the moment you break below the point of control, then and you start breaking down, the value area low becomes relevant. Okay, the value area low becomes much more relevant too. Is the Telegram free to join? There are two ways you can join the Telegram. You can pay us a one-time fee to enter our group. Or you sign up with a broker that we utilize. Because if you're going to take trades with us, if you're going to execute trades according to our setups and everything that we share in the group all the time throughout all the sessions, yeah, you can utilize our broker, which is Vantage, one of the biggest brokers. We benefit, you benefit, we all benefit from it. You need to deposit $350 on your account. And then, yeah, execute pretty much from there. And if you don't like that and you say, no, I have my own broker, you simply pay us a one-time fee. What you get inside is the following. Daily updates from my side here. London session. Updates, pre-market updates, pre-New York updates. I don't really trade Asian session. I do trade London session. And the New York session. So that's from my side. That by itself already should help tremendously. Just by understanding bias, right? Because you can have a fantastic understanding of how to utilize the volume profile and how to utilize entry, models, and everything around that. But what's even more important to understand on top of that is having a clear bias, okay? And that is something to look at. So, for example, if we mark out a setup and we share a setup in the analysis part, you know, we share it before, we then say, listen, it's coming very close. Keep a close eye on this right now. It is not like, let's say, a direct signal, because we do want you to learn from it, obviously, right? If I would give you a signal, enter here, TP here, exit there, without giving you the understanding of it, doesn't make any sense because you don't learn anything. So yeah, we found the perfect confirmation here. So we start off with a weekly update or daily update, and then we follow up from the daily update. We follow up with the setups that come afterwards. And then we share in that in the other group where it's shared, where it's discussed, and where it's executed pretty much. So it's ridiculous value actually. Anyways, gold's trying to break higher. It fails to do so right now. You can see clearly we're waiting for something bigger, and I think that's the news in 10 minutes. And, you know, I just hope that this news is not that effective and that price doesn't really move. And then the breakout is just perfect because then you have the news behind you. You don't have to think about anything anymore. Then you have the confirmation that we need. So that could be a breakout or that could be a reversal. For now, it's good that we didn't enter yet. You can see why. You can see why. We're kind of holding above it, but we're not really moving. So different from yesterday, right? Yesterday we came down, boom, we entered right away. I'd say that nuance is hopefully what I can really bring to you over time on the stream, and how we as a group can really grow into that understanding. So you guys in the chat directly know exactly already up front. I think we need to wait for confirmation today. I think we can enter aggressive today. That is something that if you join the live streams on a consistent basis, that you will understand. You will understand the differences. Rich says next 10 minutes are crucial. Yes, 100%. 100%. Let's just hope that price doesn't really have an impact, you know, on the gold price in general. Or that you wick, for example, create a wick, a quick wick and price pulls back or something like that. That would be the ideal case. Where did you get your newsfeed from? We utilize investing.com. I know some of you guys use Forex Factory, right? I don't know. I just use investing.com. Personal preference, I guess. Personal preference. Five more minutes till the news. So let's see what the guys are doing in preparation here. I see Dominic being in a silver long position. That's the CME right there, my friend. Well done, Dominic. And I really like, Dominic, how you're stepping up lately. Really, really awesome to see you stepping up right now. Good work, my friend. Good work. Stepping up your game, making that comeback. I really appreciate that. Really well done. Silver was a good CME trade for sure. You see that right there. Nice. He took this live on stream, by the way. Very nice. Liam shorted oil. Holy shit, man. Look at Liam's oil trades. Like literally, this guy has been trading oil forever. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Mr. Oil in the building. Need to pay more attention. When he says something about oil, I need to listen. Like, oh shit, Liam is talking about oil. Awesome. Yeah, oil was really good, by the way. There were really, really good setups on oil. So clean. The price action is like unbelievable. if oil makes and follows through, it's ridiculous. Like when oil is ranging, you know, it's tough. But when it's like when it goes, it's unstoppable. Right? It's unstoppable. There were so many setups here. So many setups here. At this range, you broke below it. Look at where it tapped into. Fixed very low. Right there. Entry model 1. Perfect setup. This is right on the spot here. Range, breakout, retest. Phone control. Perfect setup. Right there. Today, same thing. Range, breakout. Very area low. Perfect setup. Just ridiculous, man. Ridiculous. What are you waiting for? I'm waiting for the news. We're waiting for the news, seeing what happens here. News comes out. I really do hope that gold doesn't move too much and doesn't just go up or go down. I just want gold to stay where it is right now. That's what I want. I want to have the news behind us, and I want to stay the way we are so I can understand this consolidation. And if it then break out, yeah, it's time for me to look for an entry for sure. If price moves up aggressively, then different story. Yeah, this is why 10 a.m. news is usually the most annoying. 8 a.m. is perfect, right? Because you have the New York Open, you have the news, creates a big expansion, price breaks out, whatever. New York Open, you can anticipate after the New York Open right away, boom. Like yesterday. Yesterday we had some news at 10 as well or not? What time did we enter yesterday? Okay, yesterday was also late, by the way. Yesterday we took our entry at 11. Hey, I've been working so late on the stream. Are we anticipating dollar strength or weakness? Dollar is still weak. Dollar is still weak. It's kind of ranging right now. It's holding at support. But the only way where we would say dollar is bullish is if we will break above this range. Every time when we try to, we break down. So here we got rejected. Here we got rejected. So that's the reversal signal for us right there on the dollar. Until then, I keep that bearish bias right now. So let's see if price can break out, and then we'll shift up our bias, right? We have kind of that invalidation from there. All right, 15 seconds. Let's go. Show us. Let's see if you can stay flat here. Three, two, one. That's it. Delayed response? That's, yeah. Okay, that's a good thing. That's good. That's good. That's what we want. That's what we want. No crazy stuff. Stay where you are right now, gold. Please stay where you are for the next 10 minutes. Stay where you are. 5 minutes, 10 minutes. Mixed data too. Okay, now we're talking. Now we're talking. Right, price is there. Price is hovering around. Great, fine. Consolidating. Okay. No crazy movement. News behind us. Very high endpoint of control right there. On futures as well, we're still below that resistance as well right there. So Soners is acting like yesterday. Well, yeah, yesterday was no, this is worse for sure. Yesterday was at least, yeah, no, we were ranging in our position. We were long and we were stuck in our position also for an hour before price broke out to the upside. That's true. That's true. But the thing is, you can just see, man, every time when you reach a high here, for example, this was a clear area where a lot of people went short, price broke out. This is where so many people got stopped out, or where so many market buy stops were activated, let's say. And then price came out right here. Then it created a high, price came down. We entered there, price came back up. It tapped into that resistance. Obviously, a lot of people shorting here. What does gold do? People are coming in, shorting this. Ignores the shorters, the sellers, the aggressive sellers. Boom. Price continues to go higher. Then you think, oh, okay, now I'm going to enter from this area of supply. Boom. Supply taken out right there. There, this is 90, 39. It's around 5. 5. I obsess more of the story. Avoid shorting gold in a bull run unless there is a major signal or proper breakdown. Yeah, in most cases, it is very tricky to short. It is very tricky to short gold here. I agree with you, man. I agree. I agree with you. I think that this is our last line of defense right now. I think if we manage to close above this level, the 38.73, we pretty much have our 1 hour. You could almost say our entry model on the 1 hour, to be honest. A 1 hour EM1 play. So yeah, if we do manage to close above this high, I think that's something like taking out the highs again, right? Same thing, same story. If you manage to close above. Tommy, yo-yo was a nice long yesterday. Patience pay the bills. Shout out to Tommy, man. Who remembers Tommy? Yeah, he's still here. He's still here. Who remembers Tommy? Look at the 1 minute as well here. Look at that. Look at that reaction here. It is almost like an EM1 play right there. That's the EM1 play I'm actually interested in. If we can manage to break above this high, we have at least like a 50-minute closure. We follow through and we break this high. I think I'm willing to go long. We're clearly respecting the very high on spot, on futures as well. We're clearly respecting both levels actually. We have still not closed below the very high here. So I think this is a respect. I think it's worth to see what we can do there. Yeah. The closure on the 50-minute above it will be the ideal. Above the 38.73, if we can get that and we break through, we're in a really good position there. We are. Gaming X says gold needs to close above 38.77 to show continuous bull. Also another confirmation is this internal structure. That's true. Because now we're talking about a CME on the lower time frame. What we're trying to do here is a CERC CME, right? So the C, the M, the E. These are what this is one of my favorite setups this is pretty much my favorite setup to trade. And my favorite setup to trade would be CRC external, CME internal. All right, so in Telegram, we shared that setup, for example, one of our trades that we took in our group, right? This is the exact setup right here. So this is the C, this is the E, so consolidation, expansion, retracement. This is what we're trying to trade now, pretty much, right? This is where we are now, right here. So retracement, but internally, we have that consolidation, manipulation, expansion. So it's the larger C, consolidation, expansion, retracement, continuation, potential, with an internal consolidation, manipulation, expansion. That is the ultimate confirmation. This is what I call a AAA setup. Like, this is a setup that if I see something like that, I would take it. So obviously if gold does that and breaks above the highs, that's to me like the ultimate, pretty much, because the chances of follow through is just so extremely high here. Okay. That is a really good point you're making, my friend. By default, it's true. That is the perfect confirmation right there. The consolidation, manipulation, and the expansion. And you can learn more about that, by the way. You can learn more about that in the trading war map as well. We talk about this pretty much all the time in there. You can find that on page number 46, 47 of your book. So yeah, true. 5-minute time frame, rebreak above the highs, retest, fixed for a high, usually leads in continuation plays. Especially after a larger consolidation period. So this is your accumulation, you break out and retest. It comes back to fill these orders. And then it does break, and then it breaks out there. If you don't see that consolidation and it's just a quick pullback play, so it's like this without a range, that's when usually things get swept on the highs, right? And when price takes out the daily highs and then reverses. Yeah. So right now we're waiting for the break above this one. We're trying to anticipate the CME before the CME. But then would mean if you get that, then that will be an entry one. And then if you get, let's say, a rebreak and it's still, or the market is still running, and you break above the fixed for a high on the 5-minute time frame, then we would look for potential additional entry right there. I'd say it would be something like that, pretty much. Something like that. That's kind of like the core premises of what we're looking at. For example, but then you need to see that break above here. So now a break above, is that anticipation from a larger expansion. So that's your C, this is your E, this is your R, this is your C. And then it's about the retest of that high, pretty much. So that is something that we have been just doing over and over again. We have been following the exact same setup. It's not per definition a pattern, by the way, right? It's just market behavior. It's buyers versus sellers at certain levels and the accumulation that takes place. Would like to see liquidity grab below previous 1 hour low. 1 hour low. That's always nice if you can take out the lows before and then push up higher. That is always, that would, you know, in essence always be nice, but yeah. Hello, Lorenzo, what do you think about order flow? What is your order flow perspective? Yeah, that's another layer. Because when we talk about LTA as a volume-based principle, so first principle is volume. That has to do with the candlestick charts, right? And we worked our way around it. So we managed to find a way to utilize the volume profile and build a system around it. But a lot of order flow guys, they also use the volume profile because they just understand the value of it, right? They know how important it is to understand volume and how to utilize it properly. Yeah, when it comes down to order flow, if you want to take it a step further, imagine you understanding order flow in the future, right? You nail LTA first. You learn LTA, you get the basic understanding. You become profitable. You pretty much max out on the candlestick charts. And you feel, okay, I'm ready, I'm profitable, I want to take it one step further. That's order flow in a nutshell, right? Why? Because this is usually what tends to improve your overall win rate. Not your win rate, sorry. Not your win rate, but it can definitely help you with increasing your risk to reward ratio. Like honestly, a big W for you. If you are still, if you were patient, if you are still patient and you're like waiting, a lot of respect for you, truly. Because I believe personally that this was the right thing to do today. To be patient. You can literally see it on the 30-minute time frame or the 50-minute time frame right now. You see it, right? You can see the ranging, not moving, not breaking. Like we knew this beforehand. We knew we had to be patient here. Today is one of those days. Keep in mind, this is also the NFP week. So we have the biggest news of the week, Friday. So a big W for you. If you were patient and you were just not, you know, hopping into your position right now and you're still at your entry now, you were patient. That's a good job. That's well done. I respect that. I respect that. Because you're gonna have these days here. Yesterday we were not patient. We didn't need to be patient. Oh, we had to be patient once we were in position. After we were in position, but today, you know, when people say, you know, trading is supposed to be boring, or usually they're right. I don't think it's boring. I can sit there, I can wait here. I have no problem with it. I don't think it's boring. When did we actually started to move though yesterday? What time was that? Because it seems so similar to yesterday, actually. When did the market started to move here? 12. No. Yeah, 12. Yeah, we saw a major sell at 11. That had to do with Trump speaking. So that you cannot really count that, right? That was Trump speaking. He started speaking. So Trump started speaking, price came down, tapped into that zone. Then we started to range. And then we broke out at 12. I guess we did. Okay, take a look at the euro. Yes, we can. Yeah, dollar pushing up a bit. Gold doesn't care. That's clear. Gold doesn't care about dollar breaking higher here. Euro will. The euro is weak. The euro is by default weak. We already knew this. It cannot even break higher. Pretty much the thing with the euro right now, Euro USD, is that it's in a range. Extremely choppy range. And if it's that choppy, let's say, I just wait for a breakout. So I simply wait for a high or a low to be broken. If you break the lows, I look at the dollar, I understand my bias, and I say, okay, we might indeed see continuation to the downside here. Okay, cool. Breakout, retest, continuation. Targeting the lows right there. Like super simple, actually. Lorenzo, yesterday you went for a coffee. Gold just banked straight up. Please go and get a coffee now. Hopefully gold turns bullish again. That's a good point, my friend. My tea is finished already. We drink tea. It's 10 p.m. here. All right, you're right. Let me get some tea. Let me come back. Let's see if price breaks above that 38.77 so we can freaking enter. Good point. Stacy says, I suggested to watch the Trump coin oscillator on spot because he was speaking in front of military admirals and generals. Okay. Football sounds is where are you from, guys? Yes, let me know where you guys are from. That's a good point. LTA is a global society. Okay, we are freaking global. LTA is getting back into the algo. Okay, LTA is getting back into the algorithm. Yeah, that's what's happening. We were streaming together for years. We took a little break. We wrote a book. We upped our strategy, our approach completely. We released our concept. We're back on stream. We're unstoppable force, G's. Unstoppable force. Charles says South Africa. Amigo says North Carolina. Sham says England. Spain. Barcelona. Hey, David, my friend. Good to see you again, man. Welcome back. Welcome back. Australia. France. North Korea, my favorite country to be in, obviously. Virginia. Singapore. Freaking love Singapore. I live in Bali. That's 2 hours away. I fly to Singapore. all the time. Holland. These are my G's, obviously. Dutch. Hong Kong. Nice. Nice. That's global. That's global. That's global right there. Well, anyways, guys, I appreciate all the support we've gotten over the last, I don't know what it was. I think over the last weeks, you know, we started streaming again. We took a little break on stream. If you look here at my channel, then you can see that we have been streaming for around 3 years. Okay, we have been streaming for around 3 years. We've done hundreds of live streams and we took a little break. So actually we did take a little break. Here you can see that. That last stream was 9 months ago. Okay. And then we said, no more. We need to step back for a second. We need to level up our guys in our group. Just make the best community we can get here. We close everything down. So there's no one that can get access. No VIP, no money, nothing coming in, right? Zero. We wrote a book. We released our book right now and we decided, okay, after our book release, we have enough time to work to build these guys up to the traders that they are right now. And I'm very proud to see, you know, them just absolutely killing it. Very proud to see their improvement every day. I can see how they're changing their lives. And most importantly, how they created that self-belief, you know, that confidence in themselves. Like, hey, I can't do this. I actually can't do this. You know, I actually can change something here. So that was our goal, to make that happen, to change it, and then go back to the streams again. And, you know, we started out, no expectations, right? Because, you know what happens after a year. You know what happens after a year, right? Anything is possible after a year, right? Pretty much. So for the particular reason, the fact that we came back after a year was... you know, that we were able to come back after a year pretty much. Yeah, it was incredible, man. It's incredible. It's incredible. Okay. Anyways, gold. I like what I'm seeing here, guys. I think it's time. I think I want to start going long right now on gold. I think gold's holding up way too well above that level here. I'm going to give it a go, guys. I'm going to give it a go here. I think it's worth to see if you can enter that position here on gold. I like the breakout. If you manage to follow through here, great. I love that. I love that. Obviously, simply just targeting the highs. Stop loss, let's say on break even after tapping into the 38.83. 38.83. Okay, so I'm gonna enter now. Okay, you see this right here, but I think I can enter now. I like it. I like what I see here. So it's worth taking. Natural Key says, can I join the Telegram without registering with another broker? Yeah, like I said before, if you are happy with a broker that you are and you don't want to change to our broker, not our broker, but the broker that I'm using, then you can pay us a one-time fee. Yeah, just communicate that in the group, and then we'll see what we can do there. Now it's time to give us some follow through. We obviously want to take out the highs here. Pretty much. That will be the ideal case scenario. It's pretty much like this, right? Let's remove this for now. What's the entry? Entry, yeah, it's hard to say. It's futures, obviously. Something like that. Who told me about the T? That was a good point. That was a really good point you were making. That was a good point. Vantage is not available in Singapore, so how do we get access to Telegram? Any other broker? You can pay us a one-time fee. We will be probably introducing a couple other brokers soon. So you just send a message in the Telegram bot, and then we will help you. It's very simple. Lorenzo, where do you put your stops on break even? Usually we're looking at like something like a 1 hour, but most importantly, look at this range right here and look at the value area low. This is the first level of resistance. This is going to be the first major level of resistance right here after the break that I think that is super important to pay attention to. So the moment I think we're there, I think it's better to put our stops. That's a CME play. If you then break out, man, you can even scale. You could, in theory, even scale in. That's actually the ideal case scenario. But you need volume for that, right? We need a breakout. We need volume. You know, we need all these layers. Yeah. And we also closed the 30-minute candle, right? Above that high right now. Yeah, we did pretty much the 30-minute, 50-minute breakout closure as well above that level. That is good, man. I like it. I like the trade. I think it's a good setup. Same setup, CRC confirmation. We just had to be a little bit more patient with our entry today. Yesterday, we entered like this, boom. Today, it took some time, man. It took some time, but it's still a very textbook setup. It is a very textbook trade. It is exactly what we talk about in the ebook all the time. It's this exact setup pretty much. Right here. Yeah. Looks very low, stops on break even. Yeah, we can put our stops below. We have a range, breakout. If he would come down, we will probably come down all the way. So after this confirmation here, that's, I think, valid for now. Yeah, that would align pretty well. Almost a one-to-one. Usually it should be a one-to-one, but at this time, because the very low is there, I think stops can be on break even there if we reach that level, of course. Lorenzo, could you do a short explanation of the trade? I just joined the stream. Come earlier. Tomorrow, 8 a.m., we're going to be there again. We might take the trade again. We'll see. Maybe there is no trade tomorrow. We'll see. But we usually come at 8. That's our goal here. A lot of people here start at 8. We come here, we join the stream, and we go through the whole analysis. And then we probably repeat that same analysis for 10 times. But at some point, you know, after like 2.5 hours in the stream, I'm like, okay, if you come in now, I'm like, yeah, man, you know the trade. Or just click backwards. I do like the volume we're seeing right now. I do like that. The thing is why the thing with the target right now is like, if we do manage to break out, there is also a large chance we just continue higher, you know? That's the thing. If we manage to break above that range, the stops will go, let's say, break even here if we reach that level. If we don't just roll over, right? But for now, it looks good. But if you manage to break above these highs, yeah, I'm not even sure if I want to exit here, because that will turn into a CME trade. We talked about that range before. So days express retracement and then internally break, retest, continuation. What if this is the manipulation? If this is the manipulation, we're fucked. That's the conclusion. Yeah. But hey, this is where probability comes into play. This is where your win rate comes into play. You don't have to chase 100% win rate. I can win 50% of the time. Yesterday, we had a 2-to-1 restored ratio, right? So already from yesterday onwards, I can lose today and tomorrow and break even this week, let's say. This is where risk to reward comes into play. So if you win 50% of the time, let's say, with a 2-to-1 restored ratio, you're going to be profitable. That's more important. So yeah, could be. But that's the game we're playing. So this is why it's so important that if you join us and you're committed to trade with us, let's say, or you learn from us, not just always trade with us, but learn from us, then that you come as much as you can, you know, just to be consistent with it. Because, yeah, you're going to see the ups and the downs this way. Natural Key says, Lorenzo, thanks. You were the man yesterday with your ID to trade the pullback. Made 300 pips because you gave the input. Nicely done. Wow, amazing. Amazing. Yeah, was really textbook yesterday. And it went in our favor. It did went in our favor. And let's see if we can repeat the same story again. Lorenzo, how much did you make yesterday from that trade? Now we're trading 500 accounts, 5 times 150K. We made $1,000 on each account. That's $5,000. And we risked $1,000. $500, sorry. We risked $500 on that trade. Now we risk $500 as well. Yeah, this closure is going to be pretty important overall, I think, this 50-minute candle closure. We want to close as high as we can. That would be the ideal. Leon says, I made 3K yesterday with your pullback recommendation. Nice, man. It's crazy how price is pushing down, but it really wants to hold, right? It really gets bought up right away. Really wants to go. It wants to go. Truth Fact says yesterday it was $50 to $350. Thanks to you. That's amazing, man. Risk management, bro. Don't go all in. Doesn't make any freaking sense. We're not going to win every single trade. Impossible. Moody says, what do you think of trading on a demo account for a month or two? I mean, anything is possible. It's just, the question is just like, how serious are you in trading, right? Are you able to, when you trade a demo account, to take every trade according to your process? Or are you just gonna randomly enter or enter 2 times as fast at certain moments in time because of the fact that you are trading a demo account? Because if you're trading a demo account, you don't have that emotional connection to it, right? So it's your responsibility then. You say, okay, I trade demo, but I'm gonna do exactly everything according to plan. That's the only way. That's the only way. How do you manage emotion when holding trades? The way I manage emotion is by being so freaking confident about my setup and about my strategy that I just know I'm gonna win in the long run. It's all about confidence. Most people that get upset and angry are just not confident enough in their approach and in their strategy and pretty much they lack that self-belief in their strategy. Not necessarily in themselves. They can be very confident guys, but if they don't have the belief in their strategy, and I'm talking real belief in their process and strategy, then it gets to a point where, you know, people tend to get emotional. Oh shit, what's this? What's that? Did I miss something? Yo, what's that? Where's that volume coming from? Like, did I miss something, guys? Seriously. What? Did I miss something on news or something? Wait. Holy shit. Let's see, wait 1 second. What was that? It keeps going. What? Shit, bro, that trade just got me eliminated from a competition. Fuck's sake. Yeah, never to take a single trade like your life depends on it. Anything is possible. Look at this. Look at this. We're gonna see what happened here though, because it might actually be something. $22.47. The Supreme Court refuses to let Trump immediately oust Fats Cook. 22.47, right? Yeah, 22.47. That's it. That's it. That's the reason. The Supreme Court refuses to let Trump immediate oust Fats Cook. Let's figure out what that actually means right there. When it says news, it's not really news though. It's not new. Yeah, well, kind of news related, right? But it's just like something that came up. It's not like an economic event or something that took place. It's it seems to be something like a Trump thing, to be honest. Crazy volume as well, by the way. Crazy volume. Okay, yeah, that's it. It is what it is on that one, for sure. And nothing we can do here. Gold still holding above the POC here. It's holding up. That was a real quick, reaction from that level here. 20 to 47. We got some Trump stuff coming out. Man, crazy stuff right there. Okay, well, luckily we crushed it yesterday, so we can afford a loss and still be in profit. Damn. No, 14 years. So. Wow. In my opinion, guys, textbook setup, regardless. It was a textbook setup where we created a breakout moment. We had a really nice closure above. Price came above here. We didn't react from any specific level or something like that. That we had to deal with or anything. So it was indeed the you could say manipulation. Because nothing happens by accident. Like we can say, oh, news right here, 2247. Yes, that's when volume kicked in, right? Right when this was released. But still, these things we cannot know beforehand, though. That's it. So hope you manage it accordingly. Harsh says your textbook was telling for continuation. It should be downtrend then, right? Bro, we literally broke all-time highs. We pulled back into the range. We tapped into the POC. We gave a closure above. That's that textbook setup. That's the textbook setup. That's it. Easy to say afterwards, right? Everyone was so confident beforehand. Now you're complaining afterwards. Yeah, right. GG says bookmap orders were crazy before that. Yeah, crazy. Not. Yeah, you could say so. Why is your chart's price action different? Because we're looking at the futures chart right now at the moment. And on futures, you're dealing with a couple other layers right there. Should we be looking for a re-entry? Maybe. Let's see. Bro, how do you manage your trade when you are in drawdown on a funded account? Can you explain your process? The way we manage our trade is very simple. Like, we utilize, let's say, a 2-to-1 risk-reward ratio. So yesterday when we were in our trade, we took a 2-to-1. Today we lost a 1R. Price snapped, right? Reversed, news, whatever you want to call it. So we got taken out here. It's just all about risk-reward ratio. And then the second thing is, just don't over-risk. Don't over-risk. Don't over-risk, and you should be fine. Yeah. I would not be surprised, though, to be honest. I would not be surprised if gold holds here. A lot of sellers start coming in and price just holds here. I would not be surprised. Bro, did you trade a prop firm? If yes, suggest a good prop firm. It depends if you trade CFDs or futures. If you trade CFDs, I recommend you to utilize Top Step. Sorry. Fund Next. They're simply one of the biggest now. Very straightforward. And then the secondary, we have Top Step on futures. If you are more of a futures trader, then Top Step might be the better decision. Most reliable with payouts, most reliable with those things over time here. Yeah. GG said we had over a few thousand orders sitting at MOP. Now same order sitting at 39.20 and 39.40. 39.45, right? 39.45, yeah. Mm-hmm. Lionel Rook says, I'm thankful for my aggressive risk management style, but placing stop loss above entry, it saved me there just now. Well done. If this is your strategy and your approach, and that works for you, then that's a really good thing to do for sure. Then congratulations. And this time you would be saved for sure. Yeah. What are we waiting for? I just want to know how gold closes here, because it's super important for me to see what happens and how gold closes up here. Like I said, I would not be surprised if gold closes still above the highs. And it's still going to push, to be honest. Top 5 says we did sweep the London and Asian low. Yeah, we actually did. We actually did that. And we wanted to go against that. Exactly. I re-entered at 38.64 after the dump. Namaste. How to decide where to trade CFD and futures in prop firm scenarios? Well, number one, what do you trade, right? That's the first question. If you trade, let's say, gold only, then you can choose both. It doesn't really matter that much. You can trade CFDs and you can trade futures. But if you say, for example, I want to hold my trades overnight, yeah, you have to trade a prop firm that allows that. So you have to go for Funded Next. There is no other way then, right? You wanna hold your trades overnight sometimes, or you wanna hold your trades longer, then that's the best way to do it. Will's Good Skills says Trump yaps, Cook claps, gold just builds it, bottom wick at London Open. Yeah. I think, you can't really take that shit in consideration, by the way. Oh, maybe Trump is going to do something. Because you're never going to take a single trade. It's not going to work out. Not going to work out. Just accept it. Accept it and move on. We're still in profit from the week. And just let's wait for confirmation. Look for your next setup. That's it. It is definitely a Wednesday thing. Yeah, it is Wednesdays, man. Oh my God, these Wednesdays. For some reason on the Wednesdays, you do see this. You do see it more. Let me actually go to my data. Let me actually look at some trade history. If that's actually the truth though. It actually was in August. It actually was pretty. My biggest loss. No. That was Friday. That was in August. That was the worst day of the month. July. Yeah, the worst day of the month. 12K. 12K loss in a single day. On a Wednesday. June. Not really. July, August. Yeah, I mean, it could be. Overall, it's just... it's not per definition Wednesdays, to be honest. Well, to be honest, look at September. I didn't trade Wednesdays as well on the 10th and 17th. So yeah, there is definitely something there, yeah, to think about. We're still going to stream, though. We're still going to trade. We're still going to stream. That doesn't mean anything. Lorenzo, what are you going to do next? What I'm going to do next is I'm going to see if price can tap into the fixed fair high one more time. If price still reverses and holds up and flips bullish and breaks out, yeah, I might look for a re-entry, right? The reason why I risk around $500 is because it allows me to take, you know, 2 trades or something, and lose. The maximum loss limit for me personally on a daily basis is $1,000. If I would lose $1,000 on one account, that's $5,000 in total. Then I stop trading for the day. Pretty much. Vantage says, I hope everyone saw what just happened with price. Price can be manipulated, but when it comes down to volume, there is no hiding it. Big shout out to Lorenzo. Volume is king. The thing about it is, price still broke above it. Closed, I think, closed above it on the 1 hour time frame. So the only thing that I would say is, like, we hold right now. We're not going to break this, and we potentially flip it. And what are the chances of it? What are the chances of it happening again right now? What are the chances of right now again another Trump release or press release or whatever? Unless he says something like, Trump says that Uncle Jerome needs to be fired or something like that. Lorenzo, I'm staying in Singapore, but Indian citizen. Will I be able to open an account using an Indian ID in Vantage? Yes. And continue trading in Singapore? Yes, you can do that. You can do that. You can do that. What happens if there's a good setup after you lost your position twice? You're still not going to trade it. The thing is, I just have a maximum amount of money I'm willing to lose in a single day, right? Because, you know, if it gets more than that, you know, the harder it is to stop trading. Do you notice that? Do you notice that when you lose big, it becomes even harder to stop trading for the day? Let me know if you recognize this. So let's say you were trading, right? You risk a bit more than usual. You lose that setup. Does it become harder or easier to just say, I'm done for the day? So that's why I'm capped. I'm always, you know, yes, there are opportunities out there. I get it. But I cap it. I do cap it. It just keeps me mentally stable. Pretty much. It keeps you mentally stable. Keeping me afloat here. Just saying, okay, $1,000 a day on 5 accounts is $5,000. And usually that means also, by the way, that it's already getting later, by the way. So there's no use anyways. You can see that still, right? Even after that quick move, we're still holding above it. We're still holding above it. That's the crazy part. We're still holding above that level. What is your win rate? It depends. I cannot give you a really good answer. I can only give you the answer over a lot of trades. And that is sitting around 60% with a 2-to-1 restored ratio. But that means that sometimes I have a 40% win rate, which is still profitable, by the way. But sometimes I have an 80% win rate. So it varies in the short term, but in the long term, I would say it's 60%. I'm trying to get it up to 65%, let's say, average. But we have been profitable in May, in June, July, August, and September. With the worst trade loss in July, which was a 12K loss in a single trade. Which was just, and I literally just told you about maximum losing 5. I lost 12 at that day. So you get the point, I guess. Jeremy said Lorenzo's cheeks. Lorenzo's cheeks will be clapped regardless. 40% of the time. Unit says, and losing trades are break even and stop loss. No, losing trades are stop loss. Obviously, like break even is break even. Break even is nothing. You don't lose anything, right? So then it's not a loss if you don't lose money. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to give it like until this 50-minute candle to see, is there potential, yes or no? If there is, maybe give it another shot. But we know that in like 5 minutes. I know that in 5 minutes. I do hope that if you guys traded yesterday's trade, that you didn't wipe out yesterday's profit. Right? That's not what we're trying to teach you here. With LTA, we're trying to teach you the following. You win 2 and lose 1. You never lose 2 at once. Okay? Never lose 2 at once. Umar says, hey man, I had a $20 loss today. I came here to copy to recover it. Don't try. Don't do it right now, bro. Don't do it right now. Don't do it right now. Gold is all over the place. Right now, at least. We're gonna give it 5 minutes. See where it closes. Shipley says, Trump is giving me gray hair. My guy. Yeah, 3 minutes, 3 minutes. Let's see. Bro, how do you confirm your buys for the currency pair for the coming or current month? And how do you change that view? For the currencies, the number one thing I look at, besides the macro fundamental data, we have like a huge plan, macro to micro. When we trade currencies, very important. And that is what we call the foundation, the LTA framework. Macro fundamentals, macro technicals. So supply and demand on the higher time frame. Super important. But we don't really trade on the higher time frame. At least I don't. Okay, so we trade on the lower time frames usually. That could be the 1 hour, the 30-minute, or the 50-minute time frame. So the idea is for you that you understand all these layers, which is very easy. You can get a macro fundamental bias. You can be bullish for a longer period of time fundamentally. But it doesn't mean you have the confirmation on the chart yet. Because it's not a timing tool, right? This is where the macro technicals come in. The macro technicals will show you if the market is ready and is kind of setting up for the big moves. And once this is nailed, right, you can start going to the micro technicals and discover lower time frame trends. And if you understand trends, intraday trends, and volume analysis on the lower time frame, then you can follow this exact sequence and be very consistent. Now, to answer your question for the currencies, if you want to simplify something like this for now, just look at what the dollar does first. Like, understand the dollar index and go from there. Because once you understand the dollar index, you understand, you have a current bias on the dollar, it becomes much easier. So let's say dollar breaks out and it pulls back above this level. I'm now bullish bias on the dollar. That means I can start looking for short, to short the euro. Because if that happens on the dollar, let's say the dollar breaks out, the euro will break down. The euro USD will break down. And then I will look to short the pullback, right? And then look for the continuation. So, dollar, man. Look at the dollar index. Super, super underrated. Especially on currencies. Predominantly for currencies, actually. I'm still super impressed, to be honest with you guys, today. And how you guys dealt with it. I'm actually super impressed. You guys are dealing with it like G's. No crybabies in the chat. Like over the last 3 years, we've seen some crybabies in the chat. You guys understand it. You guys have been actually, doing really well. and accepting it, understanding it. And of course, it's easy when you win. You know, when we had a win, we're still in profit, blah, blah, blah. It's easier. But still, I hope you just understand that this is all, these things are things that we cannot really control. Okay. All right, I think that's it, because gold right now, to be honest, guys, is closing. It closed below the very high. It's gonna range. I don't see a lot of movement right now. We don't have really that strong closure that we wanted to see for another trade. And it seems a bit too messy to try to get involved here. I'd rather keep our profits from yesterday. I'd rather stay profitable for the week. So, you know, we can use that profit to give it another shot tomorrow. I think that makes the most sense. Right? We cannot lose anymore this week. But we obviously want to make money. So, you know, it might be wiser to just step away today, come back tomorrow, and use that trade from yesterday for tomorrow, and use that money wisely. Spend your money wisely, I would say. I think that's the best way to do it. You guys agree with me? Let me know in the chat. What do you guys think? Are you going to mark out this trade? For sure. We're marking out every single trade we take, obviously. We do. Yes. We will make sure this is well noted, my friend. Well noted. Ron says true. Shipley says agreed. No gambling. I'm out for today. You're right. Okay, that's the plan then. All right, that's it. We're going to break it down. We're going to come back tomorrow. And hopefully use our final profits to turn that one into another win. And then we have a really good week. We have a really good week if that happens right there. That's what we're going to do. All right, guys. I appreciate the support regardless. You guys have been killing it overall here. A big shout out to the trading floor guys. They have been winning big time. Big time. They're still in profit on silver, even though silver is also rolling over right there. Dominic's stop loss is already on break even. So he's good. Shout out to Dominic, my friend. Okay. All right, guys. Thank you all. What is extremely important here is that you get into our Telegram regardless, so we can get ready already for tomorrow. All right, so what I'm going to do tomorrow, I'm going to drop a video in this channel right here. I'm going to prepare for tomorrow again, tomorrow's stream again. What we're going to do is we're going to really narrow it down, really get in touch, because it's the day before the NFP. We really need to be on point here. So I'm going to share this in Telegram on a, you could say, London session. In London session, I will share it here. And we're going to stay in touch here also now. Right now, we're going to hop into the Telegram chat. We're going to talk about a couple other layers. But we're also going to look at a couple other instruments besides gold as well here. So that's what we're going to do. You can join us. I don't even understand why you're here. If you're committed, you should be in our Telegram anyways. You should have downloaded the book. You should come to the streams at 8 AM consistently, not just the one-timer. And you should be in our Telegram. So that's it. Then we're going to come back tomorrow. We're going to take the same trade again. And we're going to lose again. No. We'll see. We'll see. All right. Keep it up, guys. Well done today. Keep up the good work. Stay consistent with your approach. Stay disciplined. And we're going to get there. When is the giveaway? Tomorrow. Tomorrow. Carl, thank you, my friend. Dan, thank you. Jackie, Rusher, thank you. Thank you, guys. Peace out. Take care. Have a good stream. Rest of your night. Peace out. soon.
Like